comic book fans? It's Alpha Omega Sin here with Comic Book Pickups episode 1, 2, 3. That's right, episode 3. And this one's going to be very special because it's a combination of comic books, graphic novels, and a very awesome statue. See, there's a comic book store here in downtown Pittsburgh that I frequent pretty often that I like quite a bit called Ides. Ides just had this insanely awesome sale where a lot of things were 30 to 40% off. So I went and spent a whole crap load of money because there was a ton of stuff that I was trying to fill in the gaps of, certain collections, certain graphic novels I wanted, and a statue I saw and just couldn't pass up for the amount that they wanted. Now this came with the box and everything. I don't have the box sitting beside me or anything. I decided to keep the statue out so that you could see it better. But anybody familiar with the DC bounty hunter himself, Lobo, should definitely know who this gent here is. It is Lobo himself, looking really, really badass. Now, if you're familiar at all with any of the lead figures that DC and Marvel put out, they put out these really nice statues. They're usually pretty heavy too. This one is almost 3 pounds. It doesn't seem like that's a whole lot because it really isn't. But when it's inside of an intricate little statue like this, it's a whole hell of a lot. But there he is, the main man himself. Try to get that to autofocus on him. There we go. As you can see, it looks really good. I mean, it's sculpted really, really well. I've seen figures with less detail than this, and they went for a lot of money, but this one was really nice. And they're all individually numbered. On the bottom, this one is 0928. As you can see there, or not see, there you go, hooray! But ended up picking up. I wanted this for a while. I wanted something of Lobo. I couldn't pick up any of the figures or anything like that for cheap, and ended up getting this for 12 bucks. The only thing is it comes with a comic that whenever you buy the statue you get a comic. I didn't get that with it, but I didn't really care because I can just find it individually. But I thought that was a really, really nice find, especially for how much it cost. So yeah, Lobo, he kicks ass. If you don't know about him, check him out because, well, he's pretty cool, and he makes me laugh quite a bit because he just does. He's an asshole, but one of those lovable assholes. Now, moving into the comic books and graphic novels and everything, I'm going to start off with one by the man himself, Grant Morrison, and this is Time in the Batman. Now, for anybody who has been keeping up with Batman recently, you know that Bruce Wayne pretty much went toe-to-toe with Darkseid and got thrown through time. And he had to pretty much battle his way back, and lots of people thought that he was dead. Well, this is kind of like a culmination of everything up to that point that he comes back and everything, and it's really neat. This has issues from all sorts of different comics, and it's just a nice way to be able to figure out, you know, what exactly is going on. I like this quite a bit. It's naturally a hardcover edition, if you couldn't tell. And inside, art looks absolutely wonderful. Really, really nice stuff. Let's see, let's go to some of my more favorite sections of this. And here we have Batman pretty much talking with Alfred after talking with Superman about, you know, the difference between humans and gods and everything, which I thought was an interesting little conversation I was having. Here's him upon his return and everything, straight up through the ocean and whatnot, right outside of Gotham. But yeah, overall, just really good book. If you were trying to go and figure out exactly what's going on, this is a good place to start and everything. Definitely recommended for all the Batman fans out there. Next up on the list is Batman the Black Mirror. Now, this is a story that I've been telling many, many people about to go and check out because it kicks so much ass. Anybody that has been reading the Detective Comics series within the past couple of years, I'm sure that you've come across this and thought, wow, easily one of the most psychological Batman stories that they've ever woven whatsoever. Really, really good stuff. James Gordon plays a large role within the story just because his son essentially is at the centerpiece of this entire thing, and is probably one of the most messed up characters that they've ever put into the Batman universe just because he's so real. Like, he comes off as a genuine serial killer. But the thing is, one of the things that's so striking about this is the art and the way that they use the color palette given to them. And as you can see right there, it's just really, really strong colors and bold blacks. And the thing is, during certain sections of the story, you know, it adds a lot of intensity to it. I'm going to try to find a particular scene here. Like, okay, here for instance, they do a lot of this section right here, by the way, they do a lot of close-ups on faces and everything to get like the startled look in the eyes and the expressions in somebody's face, whether it's anger, fear, lust, anything like that. And it really does help bring everything to life a lot more. The writing in this is absolutely fantastic. I love it to death. On the back here is one of my favorite comic covers ever. It's a picture of the Joker where his face is made up of a ton of bats, which is kind of neat because in a way it's symbolic of, you know, the Joker, since he has such a large obsession with Batman himself. You know, the Dark Knight is pretty much the epicenter of the Joker's brain at all times, and he's the reason why he continues to do what he does, because it's all just one big fucking joke. But in general, if you were going to pick up a Batman book whatsoever, please pick this up. You know, it does help to know a little bit of backstory about this, but this isn't one of those things where you need to know a whole bunch about, you know, what events had occurred before this to be able to pick this up and enjoy it. You can just have this and enjoy it for what it is. It's its own story, and an extremely important one for all Batman fans to go and check out. Really good stuff. Anybody who likes a good thriller, this is definitely up there with them. Now, I collect Nightwing comics. I'm trying to get the entire Nightwing run, and there's quite a few of them. And the thing is, I had comics missing in all sorts of areas. Altogether, before I went to IDES, I needed about a little over 40 more Nightwing comics. Well, just so happens that they had a lot there. And the thing is, with how cheap that they were going, I was like, sure, why not? So I got all these. And this is a whole hell of a lot. It truly, truly is. The thing is, I didn't really mind because a couple of these were autographed. Scott McDaniel, he autographed that one. The autograph is right there. And keep in mind that the autograph only made it $1 more. Another one, Scott McDaniel, autographed that one. And this one right here is kind of cool because... let's see, this one is signed by both McDaniel and Dixon. So, right there and right there. So it's pretty nifty to be able to find them. Like I said, it was only $1 more to be able to get them. Anybody who's a fan of Nightwing, you know, it does have a really good run. The middle of the series it kind of slouches, and it goes off in a really odd direction I don't think fits most of the world that Nightwing is in, or the character for that matter. But for the most part, the beginning of it and the end of it are the highlights of the entire series. Really, really good. Very cool cover right there. That's issue 78. There's a couple in here that have pretty kick-ass covers. I've read the entire series altogether, but I never owned the entire series. So that's why I was trying to get like a complete collection of it. That one I like quite a bit too. Trying to turn this without dropping an entire bunch of them. I thought that one was pretty nice. But overall, just really good. And I am actually reading the new Nightwing comics, and I'd say I'm very happy with them. But the original run is something I want to go and pick up. It's just really, really cool. You know, if you like the whole Batman universe and everything, you'll end up getting into other things like Batgirl, Batwoman, Azrael, Nightwing, things of that nature. So Nightwing was one of those immediate transitions for me as a fan. And I like seeing him pop up in other things. He's shown up before in Teen Titans. He's shown up in Under the Red Hood. You know, I just want to see him show up in more things. He's also in the Arkham City games. I just wish that they gave him his own story, but there's always a chance in, you know, the next Arkham game that they'll end up doing that. So hopefully it does happen. Now, right here, I bought these on a whim. They were 50 cents a piece, so I couldn't really complain whatsoever. As a matter of fact, one still has the price tag on it. There's a Superman story that's called Emperor Joker, where the Joker gets godlike powers and takes over the entire world, the universe, really. And it's Superman and Batman who pretty much end up getting absolutely fucking owned. Joker does go and destroy a couple other people, but the stuff that he does in it is absolutely ridiculous. This right here is just from the regular Superman comic. Let's see, this one right here is from Superman in Action Comics. And as you can see up at the top, Reign of Joker. And I'd seen all these, and I was just like, oh boy, I've been wanting to read that for a while. This one right here is from Superman Man of Steel. And it's just kind of funny, like, let me show you the one, because this one right here is the biggest issue. But just some of the stuff that Joker has done to people, like, this is a good way to start off the comic. A bunch of people from the DC universe, all the heroes, just dead. Everywhere, dead. And Superman absolutely freaking out. And what does the Joker say? What? No, I'm serious. What? I don't get it. And then just laughs a whole bunch. It's definitely really cool. No, and here's something I thought was pretty neat. I'd never seen it, but it's a Batman Beyond statue. I'd never seen that before in any store I've been to, but if I saw that for cheap, I'd pick it up, because I love Batman Beyond. But, yeah, Emperor Joker, I just want to pick up. I know that they have it in graphic novel form, but I've never seen it in stores before, so I figure I'd just pick these up. I'm sure that there's some other ones to this, but in general, I was really happy to be able to just find these, especially $1.50 for all 3 comics. I can totally deal with that. So if you're wondering, go check it out. Just type in Superman Emperor Joker. It should pop up online. Now, this one was strictly on a whim. I was in half-price books, and I was looking through the comic section, and as growing up, you know, being a big fan of horror movies and everything, there was a magazine, they still produce it still, it's called Fangoria. And Fangoria magazines, you know, they deal with a lot of horror elements, whether it's in movies, TV shows, games, etc. Well, it turns out that they also dabbled in comics, which I didn't realize, and this one is called Bump. So, and it was issue 1, so I figured that's not so bad. At the very least, if there's other issues and I like this, then I can go and pick them up. Now, the cover art looks pretty damn menacing. See if I can line that up with my face. That looks kind of cool. Anyway, now that I'm done being a dork, let's see. Just trying to find one of the pages with some good gore going on here. Wait, I know, there's one towards the end. I remembered that. Alright, for anybody that can't stand really graphic content, you may want to skip ahead a couple seconds. So, I've warned you. 3, 2, 1, and for everybody else, this is pretty funny. But, yeah. Talk about butthurt. Yep, I saw that, and I was just like, wow. He has a blown-out butthole. That is fucking hilarious. And the art in it is really, really good. You know, besides the extremely detailed bowel problem that guy's having, just in general, it looks really cool. I haven't really read through it. I just kind of scanned through it because I got an entire pile of comics, so I'm still going through all of them. But, yeah, it's called Bump. Issue 1. Don't know if there's any other ones, but like I said, if there are some extras, I will most definitely pick them up. So it's kind of neat to see Fangoria Comics, because that was my first ever time seeing any of them. So, yeah. Now, besides Nightwing comics, I am collecting one other series that I'm trying to go and complete, and that's Transmetropolitan. For anybody that has never read Transmetropolitan, I assure you 100% it is one of the best damn comic series in the entire universe. The one episode that I did, I picked up a bunch of the graphic novels, which I actually have sitting right up there, which is just out of view. This is my entire comic shelf, if you're wondering. But they're sitting up there. I love them quite a bit, but I want to have all the individual issues as well. So I got issues 52, 53, and 54. 53 is my all-time favorite cover, which pretty much is kind of paying homage to Batman. As you can see, Spider Jerusalem up on a gargoyle, and the little alien face, which has become his little icon, just off in the back and everything. Here we have Spider going through the city, and a bunch of assholes are just pretty much clinging to him while he's trying to go somewhere, more than likely to get pills, drugs, and some smokes and some booze. And this one I like quite a bit. I want this as a shirt, honestly. But it's Spider, and he just looks absolutely insane. And that bra definitely helps. And the chainsaw. And I like that he's in a big pile of people. But, yeah. And down here I think is funny. Like, look at the little boy there. Like, the little boy just kind of sitting there, and he's just like, oh, hey, how you doing? Spider's jump right above me. If he blew ass, I would definitely be the first one to get hit. But, yeah, I thought that was kind of amusing. As it stands right now, I need 12 more issues, and I'll have the complete series. But, again, Transmetropolitan, extremely awesome. You know, I talked about it a bunch in the other episode, but there's really not much else I can say other than if you read just a couple issues, I assure you you'll want to continue reading all the way until the end. And there's 60 issues altogether. Check them out. Really good stuff. They still print the graphic novels, so you can go and pick them up brand new. You know, in bookstores and comic book stores, you can go online and find them. So definitely read them. You'll be really, really happy. Now, this was something that I was pretty much just crossed my fingers and hoping that they would go and collect them all, and they did. And recently, before the whole DC 52 launch, we had a big DC event called Flashpoint, where Flashpoint was kind of like turning the entire DC universe on its head. And it was similar to, if anybody remembers, in DC Universe they had what was called Elseworlds. Elseworlds was kind of like, you could literally do whatever you wanted with the characters. You know, it didn't matter about their origin, their backstory, what the universe rules really were. You just literally took the character and did whatever you wanted. Well, Flashpoint is kind of like a what-if scenario similar to Elseworlds. Well, they collected a lot of the a lot of the Flashpoint comics, and this one has the most popular of them, and that's the Batman ones. And it's just one of the sickest Batman series ever, and it's only a couple issues. And it's kind of crazy just to think. But it's Thomas Wayne, who's Batman, and he's like one of the most awesome Batmans that ever come out. But the one cool thing about this is, beyond the fact that you're getting Batman, because as you'll see, this is a really thick book, like really thick, and considering the fact this retails for $18, you get a whole lot of reading material here for your $18. But beyond that, you also get Flashpoint with Deadman and Nightwing, so you get all the issues of that, which is really cool. You get the ones with Deathstroke, which I'm going to be turning to very soon. There we go. So we got the ones with Deathstroke right there, and let's see, we have the ones with Aquaman, and just, there's a lot in here, put it that way. It's definitely worth picking up. If you missed out on any of the Flashpoint books, they have the regular Flashpoint series, then they have this, which is just a culmination of everything that had occurred within the Flashpoint series. Considering that as you already know, I'm a big Batman fan, this was a must because I'd gotten all 3 Flashpoint books whenever they came out, so naturally I had to have this, and I was really happy with it. And the cool thing is, there goes Thomas Wayne right there. Thomas Wayne essentially looks like the angriest motherfucker in the entire universe. What's cool about it, though, is he kind of reminds me of, in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, that's what it reminds me of, is Bruce Wayne whenever he's older. Just a big, burly, pissed-off Batman that will absolutely fuck somebody up. And that's what this is. I don't want to spoil anything for you because there's a lot of just holy shit moments in it, but definitely check it out. You will enjoy this. Very good stuff. And like I said, $18 for it is not bad at all. Now, not like I can quit with the Batman stuff, but recently I talked about the Game of the Year edition for Batman Arkham City. Well, guess what else they brought out? Right here, we have Arkham City Unhinged, and it is the first issue. It also has the new DC logo, which I do not like. I think it looks like shit. But Catwoman, Batman, and Two-Face all on the cover there. I was really excited to be able to see this because I picked up all the regular Arkham City comics that it pretty much was like, you know, these are all the events leading up to the events in Arkham City, so they were totally worth picking up. Well, this right here looks like we're going to be continuing it, and it makes me pretty happy that they take it as seriously as they do. It's not just a thrown together story and everything. DC Comics is really behind it. So hopefully Rocksteady knows that people love this to death. If they don't, all they have to do is look at the numbers and they speak for themselves. Now, I was kind of behind on picking up a lot of issues of stuff, and I had to go and pick up the Nightwing comics. I got issues 5, 6, and 7 here. So here goes issue 5. I haven't actually gotten to read any of these yet. So there goes issue 5. Issue 6. Nightwing kicking some ass there. And issue 7. Nightwing apparently absolutely screwed. And I have to admit that, you know, beyond the fact that I'm a big fan of Nightwing, I think that these are some of the better stories that they have within the whole DC universe. Really do like them a lot. You know, you should read them. If you are a fan of the regular Nightwing comics that they brought out a while ago, the new series is definitely worth it. Now, this one I had found completely by accident, and this was a quarter. Just a quarter. That was it. Can't complain with a quarter. You know, I'd said before I'm a big fan of horror movies because I was talking about the whole Fangoria comic one. Well, I don't know if many of you have ever noticed, but I've worn a Reanimator shirt, which is one of my all-time favorite horror movies ever. I just absolutely love it. Penned by H.P. Lovecraft. Just really good. Over-the-top violence and gore. Just really, really good stuff. Very gushy. But, you know, it's just really, really funny, clever, and just, it's gory. That's the main thing that I like about it. Well, it turns out that they also had a little comic book here. Tales of Herbert West, which Herbert West, if you don't know, is the main character of the Reanimator series. And he's the one that comes up with the Reanimator juice that gets everybody coming back to life. Now, this really doesn't have any pictures in it. It's mainly just all text, because it's just, you know, 6 stories by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's all about Herbert West. Now, they do have a couple pictures in here, but not many. Let me go to a page with one. And we have one right here, which is pretty fucked up looking. This dude has a random severed hand in his mouth. And it's just like, huh, what's going on there? Let's see, we got another one right here. Herbert West, obviously bringing some more bodies back to life. It's what he does best. It's his life's work, after all. Got another one on the end here. In general, though, here. Reanimator, Tales of Herbert West. A rare collection of 6 fascinating, yet oft-forgotten gruesome tales about everyone's favorite med student from the master of macabre himself, H.P. Lovecraft. These are the origins of Herbert West, Reanimator. And that's what's on the back there. I really wish that this had a lot more visuals. One thing I do think is kind of funny is the undead person up there looks like absolute shit. Like, whoever did the cover art didn't do a super good job. But it's really just all about the content inside, you know, the meat and potatoes and the stories and everything. And for a quarter, I sure as shit am not going to argue whatsoever over a quarter. I thought that that was really worth picking up. And this was given to me by my one friend. He knows that I'm a big fan of video games, obviously. And if anybody had been playing the new Marvel vs. Capcom at all, you'll recognize this character from Marvel, and that's Rocket Raccoon. And I thought this was funny because I've never read a Rocket Raccoon comic whatsoever. This is, let's see, is that, oh, it's issue number 1 in a 4-issue limited series. So yeah, issue number 1 of Rocket Raccoon. Sweet. So yeah, it was pretty cool of him to give him to, and up there, as you can see, it's only $1. So kind of hard to argue with something that's only $1. I definitely am pretty pleased with that. So not too shabby. Got a whole bunch of comics. Got a Lobo Statue. Yeah, I think I made it like a bandit overall. So that wraps it up for Comic Book Pickups episode 3. This is Alpha Omega Sin, as always. Read comics or die! That's right, I remember the slogan for this one, because it's not video game related this time. So yeah, you should read comics or die.